this is not going to be your average program on social media. You've heard it all, the 140 characters on Twitter, Facebook and a face page and all that. We'll talk about that, but what we're going to do today, we're going to show you how you can use this in your work to attract more business and to really get some solid business results. Is that okay if we do that? Great. Now we're going to have some fun. Matter of fact, what I've done is I put together all this stuff here on my little computer here. By the way, do you like the videos they're playing? Like those things? We can put that up there and have all kinds of neat little groovy things happening. But I want to show you how this will work and what you can do in the work that you're doing to take social media, social networking, and really make this stuff work for you. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Matter of fact, what we're going to cover today is what in the heck is social media? What that thing is and how you can use it. And Web 2.0. That's what this is all about. It's a whole different ballgame than it was before. And how to use social media, the kind of things that you can do in your work in the meetings industry. And we're also going to take a look at what you can and should do right now. So if you're just getting started, this is a good place for you. We're going to show you how to do this, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with it. When we look at social networking, the idea of working with other people and moving and connecting with them, is it a business tool or a flash in the pan? I think it's really a serious business tool. I've had the opportunity to work with computers and technology for a long time. And I remember years ago, people would tell me, email. What is email? I know what mail is. I don't know what email is. I don't need any of that. Besides, I don't know anybody that's using email. Well, computers, I don't even know how to turn that thing on. As if that were supposed to be funny. Now we look at them kind of like with pity. We're in the same place with social networking and social media that we were a few years ago with email. Now, Twitter gives us the ability, just that one media right there, gives us the ability to connect with people instantly. We've already seen the amazing things that it has done with the crash that took place in New York on the river when people were saved by an astute pilot. The first way it was announced was on Twitter. Over in Iran, we're seeing that the revolution is now going through, and people are seeing that because of Twitter. The United States State Department actually went to Twitter and said, please do not do your traditional refresh, shutting down your servers for a few hours. Not right now. We need to know what's going on over there. Twitter is making a huge impact. Facebook, same way. People are using that now in place of email. Today, things are a little bit different. Fast and nimble are better. When you can make decisions quickly, when you can adjust and adapt to the way the world is today, you will succeed. We can do that when we think on our feet, when we adjust and we become nimble and quick. We look at the human web versus Google. I mean, we all use Google, right? Google's still great. I love it. We're working with it and doing great things. But, the human web is even better. For instance, how many of you, just a show of hands, how many of you know a really good Japanese restaurant in Orlando? Okay, raise your hand. Look around the room. Okay? I could go on Google and look for Japanese restaurant, like Japanese food, Japanese restaurant in Orlando, and I'd get from Google about 500 billion choices, right? Or however many they have. But when I hear from you, people that I know, like, and trust, you need to go over here to this one. This one's a little bit better. Or try the sushi over here. It's really good. Someone saying that to me, who I know, like, and trust, means a whole lot more than a list of a whole bunch of things there on Google or Yahoo or whatever. Do you see the advantage of that? And when you think about it, is there any business that would not benefit from that? We have GoAmpy as a message place set up on Twitter. If you're familiar with Twitter and using it, we have what's called the hashtag. You know that little pound sign? It's set up. We've got that working. And Elizabeth Barrett is working with us right now. I think we've got a couple of things out there, don't we? She's like, go ahead, if you don't mind, would you stand up just a moment and mention it? She is using her iPhone. She's tapped into it right now as this meeting is being conducted, and we're able to see certain things that are happening. Do we have any questions that have come through so far, Elizabeth?
We have several questions.
Come on over here so they can hear you on the microphone.
All right, one of them is, how do you measure social media?
How do you measure social media? I would say one way that you would not measure it would be in how many followers you have. A lot of people say, oh, I've got this many followers. To me, that's like going, let's take it back in the 1920s. Let's suppose you were in business in the 1920s, and you've hired someone whose job it is to generate more business for you. Okay, that's good. That's a really good thing. What if that person says, well, I'm involved with the College Park Chamber of Commerce and the Orlando Chamber of Commerce and the Seminole Chamber of Commerce and the West Orange Chamber of Commerce, and I'm getting over into the Tampa Chamber of Commerce, and you know how many business cards I got? Look at all those business cards. Well, that's not the end of the game. I mean, does it really matter how many business cards you've collected? No. What does matter? Dollars. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, the dollars. How many people you're actually connecting with in a real way. Real connection. See, the internet gives us an opportunity to have a lot of plastic relationships, if we can call them a relationship. You know them in a peripheral way, and that's okay. It's like getting a business card at a meeting. That's not bad. It's good. But we've got to go much farther than that before we say, yes, I want to join someone. That's what matters. It's, I believe, the quality of relationships that you build. I talk about that in my book. When I say it's really not about the e-commerce, all the electronics. It's about our commerce, relationships. Today, relationships matter more than ever. In an age when we've got too many cell phones going off, too much email, too many channels on TV, too many choices, we need people. And that's where your opportunity is. It's really about relationships, not commerce. It is about the R commerce, not the e-commerce and the electronics. Nothing against that. You know me, I'm still using the technology and loving it. But what matters most is the relationship with people. Which leads me to something else I've seen. Have you ever heard this analogy? People say, well, business is war. You got to get out there and you got to fight. I remember I was speaking at a group once, and the VP of sales got up. Real tough guy. Guys, and usually it was mostly guys out there. Guys, this is literal war out there. And I thought, literal war, huh? Are you like killing people? Are you blowing up things? I mean, this is what war is all about. Really, even if you win, you don't win. There's dead bodies. You die. People die on your side. You're destroying things. I think a much better analogy is from something, again, when I grew up in the Midwest. I think it's not about war as our metaphor. I think it's more like farming. I think that's what it is. You know, because when you look at farming, you think, what are they doing? They're surveying the land. They're studying it. Is this the right place to go? They're going out. They're tilling the soil, planting the seeds, nurturing those seeds, watching out for predators that would come by. You put up fences, keep out things, animals and others that might want to get in and steal what you've got. You also take care of the weeds. Get rid of the weeds that are out there. And you have a harvest. You take care of things there, and you have a bountiful harvest. You always put your seed cord back in for the next season. It's ongoing. I think that farming is really the analogy that we should embrace as we look at the world and the way it really works, and particularly in the 21st century. War is becoming very outdated. We're seeing that clearly in the news daily. And we're seeing that that is not necessarily the way to make change. A better way to be to think about relationships, to establish, build, and maintain those relationships. That's the key. The way that we get ahead is by building those relationships. And here's the beauty of it. We can use the technology to leverage that. By leveraging the technology, we can help people more. We can do these kinds of things when we, first of all, have the right technologies, and then secondly, know how to use them. When we do that, we can do it, because relationships are really more important today than ever before. In an era when there's so much confusion, so much stuff that's out there that's not real, we want to come together with people. Not yet. That has power built into it. That's got positive expectation that, you know, I might not be able to do this task right now,
But given the right training, given the right schooling, I read the right books, I talk to the right people, take the right courses, get the right coaching, get the right whatever I need resources in, I can do it. And you think about it, that's the way it is. For instance, let me ask a dumb question. Work with me on this for a minute. How many of you right now can use Microsoft Word? Okay, raise your hand. Use Microsoft Word. Great. At one point in your life, you couldn't do that, could you? Think about it. You couldn't use Microsoft Word. And right now, is it easy? Yeah. Oh, back then, if I would say, well, it's easy to use Microsoft Word, people go, oh, well, it's easy for you, Terry. No, they just hadn't learned how to do it yet. Not yet. And the key is, as you can learn those skills and have that attitude that, you know, I'm going to figure this out. And it might be that you say, okay, now I understand enough about it that I know I'm going to have somebody else do it for me. That's a wise thing to do. Think of yourself as a CEO of a large company. You need to have the knowledge, be cognizant of what is possible, of what can be done. So when someone uses a term like a blog or a podcast, or they say www. whatever, you don't look at them and go, oh, speak English. Instead, you go, excuse me, what does that mean? Tell me about that. I don't know that yet, and I can learn it because you've learned some incredible things. What you want to do is empower yourself with thinking, not yet. And if you go about that and you say, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have that power of thinking, not yet, and build that into my life, the sky's the limit.